Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for July 31st, 2021, with your host, Speaker2448, and Wrap It Up Salon.
Yes, this is the Gaming Saloon. I caught that.
I tried to do rip track for a second.
Oh, good one.
Mm-hmm. So we have things to talk about. We'll get to two of those shortly because it's things. It is very serious things. Not our norm for this show, but we gotta talk about them. Thankfully,
do we have to talk about them?
Probably. We should at least give it time. Because, yeah, everyone else has talked about these. So we should probably as well, to some degree. Fortunately, we have lighter news afterwards. Also, I realized I forgot to put what I was going to put as my quick draw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So I'm setting that up. Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
I mean, obviously Unite.
Yeah, that's been a thing that's taken up a lot of our time.
I actually need to hop in and do the dailies. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually about it.
I've enjoyed Unite.
For a game that you didn't think you were even gonna touch?
Yeah, because I wasn't super interested in a MOBA.
I feel like gameplay wise it does it right.
Yeah.
And there's a reason I said gameplay wise.
Yeah.
I honestly think they tried to put too much in it, and that's really what it all stems into.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that can be from everything pertaining to it lagging at times to, you know, overwhelming the player. I mean, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
it's one of those, I think it's good, but at the same time, I think it does have its problems still.
Yeah. I think, and it kind of dawned on me when I was hearing Ty talk about it, because he kept hearing the bad stuff about Pokemon Unite, and it was like, I guess I don't want to be part of that. Because he said there was like a gacha thing in there, and I was like, yeah, there is a gacha system in here, but I don't think there's anything required in it. I don't think.
The big thing that I keep seeing getting passed around is that it's a pay to win, and it's not.
I can see some of that with the held items because they're similar to the runes, which is what he said, and I'm like, fuck, you're right, it is similar to the rune system.
Except you can kind of still negate that one.
Yeah.
It's not really a pay to win as much as it's a pay to get ahead, would be what I would more say.
Yeah,
because it does have that, if you want to get the most out of it, you probably will have to put a little bit of money in it.
Mm-hmm.
if you're just wanting to play it and you're not wanting to get super serious, no, there's not really a need to put money in it.
Yeah. I just look at the held items and I'm like, because they max out at 20, don't they? It's 20 or 30.
As far as what you get in like events and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, when you upgrade them.
Oh, yeah, they max at 20.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Alright, so that's not that bad because I'm at like 14 on like, I think all the held items that I'm using actively at the moment. So that's not like the worst thing in the world.
I think I've got 3 at 15. And that's just by buying the battle pass.
Yeah.
So maybe if you deem that into it, but at the same time I sit back and I'm like, we've got other games that expect you to pay to get the battle pass too, so do you really count that as a pay to get ahead?
Yeah, I guess my only issue is you're not getting new Pokemon to play with very fast because the grind for money is really small.
That's the thing. Like, to get the new Pokemon, but I mean, okay. I'm gonna play both sides here.
Yeah.
Because we do have experience from League. It is a pain to get new champions in League as well.
Yeah.
So part of me feels like it might be just the nature of the beast kind of concept.
Probably, yeah.
But the other part of me really doesn't like that grind either.
I think it's that part of me that just looks at every mobile game that's ever done a thing that I liked, but when I get into it, it's like, hey, all those cool fun things you want to play with, have fun getting them. It's just well, that takes all the fun out of this. Not necessarily as much with Pokemon Unite, but it's reminding me of the thing I don't like about mobile games, and this is very clearly a mobile game.
Except it also gets back to what I was saying about I feel like it's got too much. It's got too much for me to just write it off as, oh yeah, it's a mobile game. And that might be the problem.
Yeah.
It might actually benefit better from being just a mobile game.
Speaking of mobile games, I've been playing the Metabots one that's in Japan.
And?
Gameplay wise, it's exactly like a Metabots game you can play right now. Like, that's localized in English, which isn't, like, I think it's like 2 of them, because I don't think any of them have gotten fan translations. But it's pretty much that. It is a gacha game, so I'm reminded once more of why I don't like mobile games, because I'm like, there's probably a bunch of cool Metabots and stuff that I would like, and I would like to play with and see what I could do with this, but, oh right, gacha game. Gotta make that money somehow. Oh.
Got to bleed the wallet.
Yeah. In better news, I'm continuing to play through Super Robot Wars D. I am halfway through the game, I believe. Ish.
You believe.
Well, I'm on that chapter 33? Let me consult my guide real quick. Because I just got done with a split route path. Yes, 33. When I pick up the game, I'll be playing chapter 33, or as they call them, scenarios. It's still good. I'm still enjoying it. I am having the issue of I have 60 units to pick from, and I can only use like 16 at a map right now. Oh. So I'm kind of defaulting into using the units I've been using so far and kind of not using everyone else. Which can be a downside depending on the split paths you take, because that can like cut your roster like hard. Like the split path I did, it took me from like 60 units to like a little over 20. And I still had to do that 16, which wasn't hard to do, mind you, because I'm still on normal mode. And I'm actually, because of my SR points, and in the normal, doing the normal maps, I'm not getting put on the hard mode maps because I'm under the quota to be put on the hard mode maps. So I can handle it. I've not had any issues. I've only ever game overed once, and that was way towards the beginning. So I'm still liking it. I'm still enjoying it. It's a neat little tactical RPG. I actually can't wait for October where I get to play 30. Trying to think. Don't think there's much else I've played. Yeah, there's not much else I've played. Got to redo the floor in the kitchen last week or so. It took a couple days because we ran out of flooring because we underestimated how much flooring we needed. So we had to go get more flooring. So it took a couple days to finish it. But that's pretty much for me. Shall we get into the serious stuff?
I guess.
Alright, so like I said on the pre-show, content warning for some very not fun to hear things of, to be honest, a criminal nature. Is because even though this is not a criminal lawsuit, this is a civil lawsuit, these are still criminal in nature, to be perfectly honest. So, if you don't want to hear that stuff, you've been warned. Before we get into it, I need to go let my dog out real quick. All right, I'm back. So, Activision Blizzard lawsuit, and yeah, the article, yeah, those are all in this lawsuit. Heavily so, the second one. So, the state of California, specifically the Department of Fair Employment and Housing, is filing a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, specifically their California studio, over what they have found through, I had jotted down some quick notes for this, a 2-year investigation starting around October 29th, 2018, into sexual harassment, racial discrimination, among other things. And this is coming against a studio that has approximately 9,500 employees, 20% of which are female. So that gives you an idea of the gender ratio at Activision Blizzard. Also, and I will pull up the actual court document on my... Or wait, I don't have to. I put it... There it is. I was about to say, I put it in the notes. The actual court document. I forgot. Have you ever wondered what a Bobby Kotick makes?
No.
Well, his salary for the past 3 years, along with several other lead positions, or at least top corporate positions at Activision Blizzard, are listed in this document. So this gives you an idea of what these people make. For reference, Bobby Kotick makes about 1.5 million and up on a per yearly basis.
Well then.
Yeah. Their executive advisor and former CFO, Dennis Durkin, makes about 900,000 a year. President and Chief Operating Officer Daniel Allegri makes about 1 million. He only has his numbers listed for 2020. Claudine Knotson, their Chief People Officer, makes about this person, I'm not sure who they are. They may turn 50,000 in 2019 and then 655,000 in 2020. And lastly, Crispy Walter made 852,000 in 2020. That is what some of their lead positions make, or their lead corporate positions make, since that's noted in the document. Also, as of note, as I was looking through the document for some notes, there are multiple acts of sexual harassment and pay discrimination, with no attempt to deter these actions. There is also racial discrimination, because the Destructoid article notes at one point a African-American woman was told by her supervisor to write a full-page reason for her to take a day off. That is not required by company policy. This one asshole told her to write a page on what she was doing with her free time on her day off in order to get her day off, which is a bunch of horseshit.
Yeah.
Now, after this came out, just to, I guess, balance the scales in terms of the story, because these are all allegations, I would say, since this is technically an ongoing court case now. Activision Blizzard has denied these and said that they are grossly out of context and grossly, can't think of the word I'm looking for. Essentially, they just deny these outright. That they're way out of proportion. But on Wednesday, 1,000 employees from Activision Blizzard walked out, did a walkout, and signed a paper demanding change from leadership at Activision Blizzard that was eventually co-signed by several different employees, by a group of employees from Ubisoft. We'll be talking about them in a minute. So, yeah, that is the current state of things. No movement has gone. I would like to also note that the state of California did attempt to negotiate and to work with Activision Blizzard to solve these issues, to resolve these issues out of court on 3 separate days of the last month, at the start of this month. Over the course of 3 days, they tried to resolve these issues out of court. Activision Blizzard declined. Therefore, that is the reason for the court case. I forget where... what the department is after. I want to say it was in the Structured article. Okay, the department, or California, state of California, is seeking a legal injunction to force Activision Blizzard to comply with workplace protection standards. Additionally, they're seeking pay adjustments, benefits, and lost back pay to the studio's female employees. So that is what they're seeking in this court case. Just to give an idea of what is ultimately being over. Also, state of California is demanding a trial by jury in this matter. They are not leaving this up to a judge. They want a jury involved. So that is where we're at. This is also not the first time we've had this. The Structured article notes Riot Games, which we've talked about before. Ubisoft, which we haven't talked about before, I don't believe, but that has come up in the last year. Lab Zero Games, which we haven't talked about, but yeah, there's a reason Skullgirls is not under Lab Zero Games anymore and is under a new developer. And Quantic Dream, even though the court case against them was repealed or dismissed on appeal. So yeah, this, along with Vice's voice actor, and finding out that this shit is also in Insomniac Games from a developer who reposted their Twitter thread talking about this shit, is why I didn't stream Thursday, because this is a lot to deal with. Just the worst of humanity, more or less. So, yeah. It's rough. It sucks because it feels like this shit's ingrained in the industry. Yeah. Anything you want to talk about with this?
Not really. I mean, part of me kind of isn't surprised about that.
Yeah. I said in someone's...
As bad as that is, it's like, yeah.
I said in someone's stream on this matter of, this is not the last time, this is not the first time, nor will it be the last time this happens. Because the more people stand up and actually hold these leadership positions accountable, the more that practice gets spread to other studios, and the more this will come out. At least that's the hope, is that more of these shitheads will be held accountable for their actions, and they will not get hired in these lead positions anymore. And maybe, just maybe, they'll get blacklisted from the industry, because fuck them. Fuck these shitheads that are responsible for all this garbage. All right. Shall we talk about Skull and Bones then?
I mean, I guess.
All right. So coming from Ethan Gotch, who I think is Kotaku's investigative reporter, I feel like he's the investigative reporter that's done a lot of pieces like this before. But he has put out a article detailing the 8-year in ongoing development cycle of Skull and Bones. For those that don't remember what Skull and Bones is, it was the pirate multiplayer game that Ubisoft debuted back in 2017, 2018 at the respective E3s. It was supposed to be one of their big ticket, like big noteworthy titles, but after 2018, it has disappeared off the face of the earth, and not much has been said or talked about it from Ubisoft. You want to guess why?
Why?
That would be because it has been in development for 8 years. Dating back to 2013, when this was originally supposed to be an expansion to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag that was supposed to come out post-launch. That has then been spun off into its own thing and went through several different iterations because it lacks a clear vision. And where did I jot that down in my notes? Several different versions of the game have been developed and scrapped, including that 2017-2018 version has since been scrapped. So the Skull and Bones we're going to be getting at release, because this is going to come out, because we'll get to that in a second. That doesn't exist anymore. There's the new versions of Skull and Bones that they're currently working on that has just now reached alpha stage. Alpha. 8 years, and it's just now getting alpha. That's not a good sign. So Ubisoft of Singapore is the main developer on this. And while it suffered 4 major delays in about 3 years, and I believe those are the last few delays it's gotten, it has also racked up a $120 million budget and counting. That is such a large budget that they have had to do financial write-offs to ensure that developers will get paid when this comes out. Because this game has to come out. Because Ubisoft struck a deal with the Singapore government in order to get a deal on getting employees into Ubisoft that requires them to release the game. Skull and Bones can't be canceled unless they renegotiate with the Singapore government. This game is not going to come out well. I can already tell you this right now. To name a series that I talked about a lot, mentioned a lot, this is a what happened story in the making. Also, give me a second. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
But yeah, this game has to come out. There is no ifs, ands, or buts at this point. They've also went through 3 different creative directors, all of which have brought new personnel into lead positions as others have left, and a lacking unified vision, among other things, including a toxic work environment, have led to this game stagnating in development hell. So, this is why we haven't seen Skull and Bones. It is a read. This is like just kind of a highlight of everything in the article. If you want to read more, it's in the notes. I highly encourage to give it a read because there is talks with both current and former Ubisoft developers about this project. So, any thoughts on this?
No.
All right. So, let's get to the less serious stuff. So you remember how Genshin Impact is the thing right now?
It's all the thing.
Yeah. So I saw this image in Proton John's Discord, and I thought it was fan art. Because I'm like,
almost looks like it.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, it's Aloy in the Genshin Impact art style. Oh, that's kind of cool. Except that's not the case. Aloy is actually going to be a character you can play as in Genshin Impact at some point within around the 2.1 update. They just did their big 2.0 update the past couple weeks. And 2.1's coming, I think, next week or the week after. But as a part of at least the 2.1 update, if you are Adventure Rank 20, you will get her bow outright. I'm guessing there will be a banner with Aloy on it, and you'll have to roll the dice to get Aloy, I assume. So, yay. Reminded me of the reasons that I don't like Genshin Impact, even though everything else about Genshin Impact I kind of like. God damn it. Can there be a way for me to play Genshin Impact with all of the mobile game influences just excised from the game?
No.
I figured.
Just like there's not a way to play Unite without all the mobile yet non-mobile stuff in it.
And I guess questionable news.
I don't know on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Coming off, I guess, the success of the Pokemon live-action movie, Netflix is having a Pokemon live-action series developed. Lucifer's John Henderson is, I believe, our lead on this. And also, apparently, a sequel to Detective Pikachu is just not happening, which sucks.
I mean, part of me almost feels like we've got 2 options. We either really hope the Deadpool comes to the MCU, or we go ahead and have another Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Because I have a funny feeling that's probably why. It's probably an either or, and I don't know which one I would rather.
Well, Deadpool did a commercial bit for something, or Ryan Reynolds did a commercial bit as Deadpool, and I think it was Korag, or like not Korag. That's a completely different character. Rock guy from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, Korg.
Korg, that's why. He did. He was in the commercial with him. I forget what the commercial was for.
Well, then they failed on the commercial.
It was supposed to be Deadpool doing one of the. Oh, it was for Ryan Reynolds' new movie. The one where he's in a computer game thing that's totally not GTA Online, more or less.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. It's Deadpool doing a live reacts to a trailer of that, and like Krag shows up in the movie. Or Korg. Why am I saying I keep thinking Korag because that's a character from Mystic Force.
I don't remember on that one.
But yeah, that's happened. So I guess he's officially at the MCU now, since I guess that counts.
I don't know if that counts.
I mean, in Deadpool sense, it probably counts.
I mean, yes, but I don't know if that actually counts.
Yeah. So yeah, add this to the pile of video game to other media projects that we have. Next up, have you checked out any of the Tokyo Olympics?
Nope.
Me neither, really. I've seen them in passing.
I heard about this thing, though.
Yeah. So did I. So, during the openings of the Olympics, a ton of video game music from essentially various Japanese developers was used, I believe, specifically during the introduction of the different countries and their teams. I think this is where all the music comes from. Because I don't think anything was used in the ceremony itself. It was just during the introductions. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Hey, Charizard.
Well,
I had to go deal with my dog. He's in a mood about something. I don't know what. Yeah, I just saw that on Twitter. That sucks to hear. Muriel's voice actor from Courage passed away. But what we were talking about, the list of songs range from Dragon Quest to Final Fantasy to Tales of to Monster Hunter to fucking Kingdom Hearts, which is appropriate because they used the Olympus Coliseum song.
Oh, well then, yeah, that was completely appropriate.
They also used the Sonic the Hedgehog of Winning 11, Phantasy Star, Gradius, Nier, Saga, and Soul Calibur. And Ace Combat. Missed Ace Combat. But that is all the different series that had songs used for the opening ceremony. The Olympics are still ongoing. They'll be ongoing till the end of next weekend on August 9th. So if you haven't watched that, I guess watched. If not, oh well. And last up, did you know that there was an EA Play Live this past week?
No, I didn't.
I mean, neither did I until I saw Giant Bomb and stuff doing commentaries for it, and I was like, oh, this thing. So, do you want to know what was important from there?
Sure.
So, EA Motive are going to be working on a Dead Space reboot. This is a reboot of the original game. And the new Battlefield is essentially doing Forge.
Of course it is.
So if you like Forge from Halo, they're doing that for Battlefield 2042, and they're even incorporating content and stuff from past Battlefield games in terms of weapons and the like, to give you more options to do stuff with, essentially. So, yay! That's pretty much it. Because there's nothing to this Dead Space trailer, and like the Forge stuff is exactly how I described it. If you know Halo Forge, it's the same thing. So that is it for the news this week, which takes us to releases. There is a decent amount of releases this week.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, we're getting there. So we kick off with August 1st with the Demons of Astebor for Switch and Theophil for Switch. On August 2nd, we have Grime for Stadia. Ooh. On August 3rd, we have Dragonstar of Vamir for Switch, Hunter's Arena Legends for PlayStation 4 and 5, In Soul's Mind for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch, Memory Lane 2 for Switch, and Spiritfarer for PlayStation 4. On the 4th, we have Castle of Pixel Skulls DX for Xbox One and Series X, Dungeon Defenders Awaken for Switch, Interdigiton Hearts of Corruption for Switch, and Orbals for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. On the 5th, 123 Dots for Switch, A Monster's Expedition for Switch, Crosscode A New Home for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Dating Life, Millie X Emily for Switch, Dodgeball Academia for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Doomsday Vault for Switch, Dream Scraper for Switch, Heaven Park for Switch, IFO for Switch, Picross S Genesis and Master System Edition for Switch, Star Hunter DX for Switch, Strategic Mind Blitzkrieg for PlayStation 4 and 5, and Strategic Mind The Pacific for PlayStation 4 and 5. The Falconeer, The Edge of the World for Xbox One and Series X, and the Falconeer Warrior Edition for PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. And lastly, Yondor, The Cloudcatcher Chronicles for Series X. On the 6th, Armed Emeth for Xbox One and Series X, Badland Game of the Year Edition for Switch, Bone Marrow for Switch, Castle of Pixel Skulls for Switch, Garoons for Xbox One, In for Xbox One, Race Track Driver for Switch, The Last Survey for Switch, Zengion for PlayStation 4, and I missed one. Zengion for Switch. I missed one. I can't wait for it to get lower and then find out I missed two. On the 7th, 3D Advent Time for Switch, and on the 10th, Action Arcade Wrestling for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Black Book for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Button City for Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch, Ever Forward for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch, Godfall Fire and Darkness for PlayStation 4 and 5, Lawn Mowing Simulator for Series X, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Super Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Shadowverse Champions Battle for Switch, and Untitled Darkness for Xbox One and Series X. On the 12th, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Siege of Paris for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5, Faraday Protocol for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Fadagon. Tales of the Creeping Madness for Switch. Fire Tonight for Switch. Foreclose versus One Series X, PlayStation 4 or 5, Switch and Stadia. Gelly Break Deluxe versus One Series X, PlayStation 4 or 5 and Switch. Love Esquire for Switch. Tetragon for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. The Plane Effect for Series X5 and Switch. And finally, on the 13th, Cardclasm, Shards of the Four for Xbox One and Switch. Foreclose versus One Series X, PlayStation 4 or 5 and Switch. For Triumph for Xbox One and Switch. Hades for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. Paw Patrol the movie, Adventure City Calls versus One, PlayStation 4 and Switch. And Witch Spring 3, Refine the Story of the Marionette Witch Irudi for Switch. Which will take us to quick draws. And mine is, I worked on my Shine system this week.
Yeah, I kind of got to pull it up because someone didn't have that loaded in there at the beginning.
My bad. I forgot.
Just saying.
I always forget a thing on TGS for some reason. Yes, I know one of them is offset from the others. That's because I didn't do the measurements correctly.
I mean, it's not really noticeable, though.
Yeah. But I also have the stickerless Gaim as a stand-in because it's the thing on my desk. So it's easier for me to grab him to see how things are looking than going to grab Shining Assault Hopper off the shelf and bring him over and put this on.
Fair.
But it's looking good so far. I need to bump up the center two a little bit so they're a bit more over the shoulder. And then I need to essentially make rectangles coming down from on like the sides of where it pegs in to make enough space to do the pegs for the other 4 Shine System crystals that need to go on here, because the Shine System has 8 crystals. That's actually fairly consistent. Because I have referenced pretty much the debut fight scene several times, just being like, wait, how many crystals on there? 8 crystals? Ugh. But yeah, essentially what I'm doing is that 2 of them are going to be like almost in line with the 2 that are at the far edges, and then 2 are going to be kind of in line with the center 2. Kind of forming a vague diamond-esque thing in a sense. It's not going to really be a diamond. It's going to be more of a not good circle. Well, more of a rectangle, essentially. As I'm just naming random shapes at this point.
Yes.
It will look like a pattern, which is what I'm after.
It will look like a thing that you're attempting it to make it look like.
Yeah. But I'm gonna pick this up sometime soon-ish. Get the rest of the kind of the body of the stand built so that I can then put the pegs on there. Because the peg stuff was easy enough for me to figure out, especially once I get it printed. I can pop everything on there and just be like, all right, how much do I need to bump up the peg here? All right. It just takes a while to print the stand. Also, unfortunately, how I have to print the diamonds, since there's a big peg hole on the back of them, I have to print them with the side that's facing you if you're looking at it on the bottom, which means it's the side where all the little things to help it print are. So when you take those off, it's a big rough surface. So I have to sand it down a little bit to make it look better. there's not really a way for me to avoid this, unfortunately. At least I haven't been brave enough to try.
I mean, I guess it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's essentially my quick draw. And you do not have one, correct?
Correct.
Alright, then tomorrow we get to talk Geo in 01. Mainly 01, to be honest.
I was gonna say you had to lead with Geo.
It's a 01 movie that happens because of Geo bullshit time travel nonsense that I despise. Because I was watching it today, and every time Finis came on screen, I'm like, I hate this part of the movie. I hate this. I hate this. I hate all of this. This all sucks. I wish it would go away. So we're going to be taking a look at that tomorrow. Thursday, we'll be picking up with Case 2 of Green Ace Attorney. Friday will be a thing.
Yes.
And Saturday will also be a thing.
Yes. there seems to be a theme here.
Yeah. But between now and then, if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Jumping away at that affiliate goal. @TeaserSoon. Twitter gets you updates when we're live. Next push point, Discord, and chat into Discord link. Drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.